Good morning. How often do you see an expression and you think to yourself, I don't know where to start. I don't know where to begin. So, if I only had an idea of what to do first, then I'd be able to finish the problem. This is not including making simple mistakes like how do you multiply or what does the exponent mean. It just means how do you get started. So, today I'm going to introduce you to a program from this section called GeoGebra Notes. And to access it, you're going to go ahead and basically select the paperclip. So we have three icons here. You'll select the paperclip icon. You'll go to Graspable Math, so the one here at the bottom, and that's going to open up a small window for you. Once this window is opened up, go ahead and close this. So you're going to go ahead and minimize this. That gets rid of the toolbar. And so the expressions that I'm talking about are things like this. So example number one. Suppose that I have a math expression that looks like this. A typical PEMDAS question. So 9 to the second power minus 6 times parentheses 3 minus 5. Let's say that's my expression. I'll press done. And so with this kind of problem, I may sometimes forget where to begin. So here's the nice thing about this program. It will never let you do an illegal move. So what does that mean? Let's say that I don't remember how to do the square, but I think to myself, it would be nice if I could just subtract. So I'll press on the subtraction, and you'll notice that it shakes. Now what it's telling me is that that move is illegal. I can't subtract first. So if I'm thinking about PEMDAS, I probably would do parentheses first. So this is first. It solves it for me. Notice how this says multiplication by a negative. So I got to read it that way. And then if I think about PEMDAS, exponent is next. So this is my exponent. It does it for me. And now I'm going to try to subtract again. Imagine that I don't really remember what my steps are. So I'll subtract again. Again, it tells me I can't do it. So now I'm going to try to multiply instead. Okay. It gives me a double sign. So let's see what that's about. Oh yeah, two negatives make a positive. And then I add this up and I have my final answer. Now, the nice thing about the program though is that once I do that, this little circle, I can now click on it and drag down so I can see all the steps that it took. Okay. So for me, this was parentheses that made the negative 2. Okay. 9 squared, 9 to the second power, 81. And then in here, I did the multiplication. Okay. That took care of this. And the end result was 93. So all of a sudden, I have a way of actually solving a problem, even though I may not originally know how to start it. Okay. Now, a couple of other features I want to show you of this program is that when I go to this here, which is this four-sided arrow, it allows me to move my problem around to kind of rearrange it so that it's not in the way. That's very convenient. It also lets me erase it. So if I don't like the problem, I don't think I've done well with it, I can also go ahead and erase it. Okay, so that's one of the things we're allowed to do with it. Okay, so let me just erase it. And now I'm going to go ahead and give you the second possibility. So the second possibility is functions. So I'll put here function. And suppose my function is x squared minus 6x. Let's call it plus 5. Okay. And I want to solve this when x is negative 1. So look at what I'm going to do. I'm now going to go ahead and create an expression. And I'm going to say I'm going to have x is equal to negative 2. Press done. Now remember that four-sided arrow I talked about? I'm going to click on it so that I can rearrange my problem. And I'll put it like this, kind of spread out, separated. Then I have to go back to the original two arrows. And now take a look at what it does. Since this is my original function, and I want x to be equal to this value, I'm going to click on the -2 and I'm going to drag it on top of x. Now, when I drag it on top of x, look at what happens. It automatically inserts for me, for every single x value, the value of -2. So now I have something that reads f of -2. And just like the previous problem, I'm going to try to solve it. So, okay, I have, nope, can't do that. Nope, can't do that. I'm kind of racking my brain about it. Okay, so let's see what happens if I do the parentheses squared. That changed it to a positive. That means two negatives make a positive. That's the rule I'm thinking about. I click again. That made 4. Let me subtract. Nope, it still doesn't let me do it. Okay, what does that mean? I have to multiply. So I'll multiply. Same thing that happened earlier. Okay, double sign again. Okay, so now I see something that I can do. So 4 plus 12, and then plus 5. And just like before, I can click on this arrow and move it all the way down. Now, if for some reason it doesn't seem to fit my window, I'm allowed to shrink the writing. So this is to make it bigger or to make it smaller. So I'm going to make it smaller, and I'm going to see if it fits. Okay, so it fits. Let me rearrange it one more time. And let me see. So this is the original problem. This is f of -2 once I made the change. Okay, in here, this became that value. Now, by the way, I know that negative times negatives are positive, so I don't really need to see this step. So look at what I'm going to do. I'm going to just move this over, kind of simplify my steps. This made this. All right, from here to here. All right, so I know that -6 times -2 is 12, so I'm going to ignore these two steps. I'm going to simplify and put it like this. All right, so negative times a negative, positive 12 plus 5. 4 and 12 is 16. 16 and 5 is 21. Okay, so now this is my solution. I don't have to do that, but if I'm trying to shortcut my steps, this might be a good alternative. Okay, so that's something else that you're allowed to do. But it doesn't really stop there. So, for example, if on the other hand, let me get rid of some of this stuff. I'll get rid of this one. I'll keep this one. And I'll add a different expression, not a function, an expression. Suppose I have something that reads like this. A, so I type A with my keyboard, times x minus x squared. Let's say that's the problem. Done. All right, I don't know what A equals, so I might as well give myself a value for A. Let A, I'm going to say A is going to equal to, let's call that 3. Done. Just like before, I'm going to rearrange everything. I'm going to keep these together here because these are my variable values. And just like I did last time, I'm going to substitute x with -2. So I'll put it, doesn't matter which x I use, I'll put it there. And I'm going to substitute 3 for A. There we go. And just like before, I'm right back at a PEMDAS problem, so I'm going to go ahead and just start solving. I'll do the wrong step first, just to see what happens. Nope, can't do that. All right, let's try that. Okay, seems to simplify that way. Okay, that means multiply. All right, that's good. Again, wrong step. All right, so squared. All right, this became this, and then together, all right, drag this down, and I have all my steps. Maybe I don't want to see each of these here. I'll go ahead and move this way. So now I can see the changes without having to see that in between step. Okay, so I'll do that. I always want to see the original problem. Here it is. Make the changes. Okay. This and this makes that negative. Okay, so let me move it this way. All right. This is going to make a negative here, but the answer is going to be positive, so that will be there. And my final answer. Okay. So those are some of the things I'm allowed to do with it. But it doesn't end there. Okay, so let's go to this. Let's get rid of this, this, and this. Sometimes they're going to give me an expression that reads this way. 2x plus 5 is equal to, um, let's say that it's equal to 13. Okay, a typical two-step problem. Let me rearrange it. I'll put it here. So it does let you solve equations as well. Now, here's the issue. If I just click on it, it's not going to do anything. Nothing's happening. If I do this, it just kind of switches places. That's not helpful. But if I want to isolate x, which is what I want to do, is I want to go ahead and click on the 5, and I'm going to drag it to the other side. Now, notice what I'm doing. I'm dragging the plus 5 on the other side. Take a look how it changes. It becomes negative. Okay, now there's something I can do. I can subtract. All right, so far so good. Now this means multiply, so look at what I'm about to do. I'll take the 2 now and drag that to the other side, and it seems to be making a fraction for me. Well, for me, fractions mean division, so I'm going to go ahead and put it there. So my multiplication changed to division. I click there. 8 divided by 2 is 4. And when I look at all the steps, then I can see pretty much step by step what I'm doing. Now, this one, where I switch places, I don't need it. So I'm going to get rid of that one. This one is identical to that one, so let's get rid of that one. And let's just do this, the first change. Plus 5 became minus 5. Okay, that made 8. And then times 2 became divided by 2. That made 4. And all of a sudden, I have a solution for simple equations. And this is the program we're going to use today. Okay, hopefully it made some sense. I'll be kind of helping out throughout. So thanks for watching.